Welcome back everyone, 𝘱𝘬𝘳𝘱 here, and in today's video we're going over a lot of important things. There's a lot of crazy things happening, not in just the world, but obviously it's translating over to the markets as well. So did I sell any crypto? I'm going to be getting into exactly how much I have sold today. Also going to be going over where I think the price is headed and doing a Bitcoin price review. Also going to be kind of just giving you guys lessons, like things I've learned in the last 5 hours, or not even learned, but basically took into consideration when it comes to selling, accessing your funds. We're going to be going over the insane regulations, what's happening in Canada, and then obviously Ukraine and the limitations that people are experiencing when it comes to being able to withdraw cash from the bank. So unfortunately what's happening in Ukraine is unbelievably sad, and it's just like seeing what's going on. It's like, you know what? We complain about a lot of stupid shit, and I can't even understand what these people are going through that are trying to flee and go to other areas of Ukraine or leave Ukraine in general. It's just extremely, extremely sad. So let's go ahead and get into, did I sell? So basically, before I went to bed last night, I was like, you know what, I should, maybe sell off a little bit. And I typically don't think or feel that way, but I had this feeling to do so. So I woke up and I had a text message from a friend that was just like, sell everything. And so I was like, okay, you know what, let me go ahead and take a look at what's happening. And so I was like, you know what, maybe I should sell off a little bit. And you could call this panic selling, you can call it whatever you want. I'm not really concerned if you judge what I'm buying or not buying or selling. Like, it doesn't matter to me. The thing is this, I am just always going to be transparent and share everything I do. So you don't have to like it. You don't have to be offended by it. Okay. It's just what I'm doing. And you might be like, you know what, this doesn't align with the previous things you've said. You know what, I flip flop and I change my mind, because every single second that goes by, the world changes, the markets change, and it only makes sense to change what you're going to do. So I sold off a small amount, because the truth of the matter is that I'm going to hold most of my crypto in the long term. But if I could sell off a little bit and buy back lower, or earn 12% with something like Vauld, which I have a link down below for that, on my stable coins, then not a bad idea. So let's go ahead and I'll show you exactly what I sold. So I have just a little bit on Coinbase Pro. You could see here that I sold some ADA. And then I sold, let's say the 24th, I sold a small amount of Bitcoin, and I sold a small amount of Link. So this is the thing, is that I wanted to prioritize selling altcoins over Bitcoin. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of my funds I don't actually have access to them right now, because a lot of my accounts were frozen. I froze them when it came to the swim swap, just to be extra careful. So that was what I sold on Coinbase Pro. So not much, right? Just a couple $1,000s worth. And then over here on Kraken, you could see here, I just sold what I had access to, basically, because like I said, I don't have access to a lot of my funds, or they're being used as collateral. So I sold off 0.81 of a Bitcoin, which is pretty substantial, actually. I typically wouldn't do that. Would you say it's panic selling? It was more of I actually do think that I could purchase it lower. I think it is probably going to go lower. So, and if it doesn't, you know what, that's okay. I bought Bitcoin at $350. So you could be like, oh my gosh, you panic sold, you sold the bottom. Here's the thing. I bought Bitcoin for $350. So when you zoom out and you look at things, I got a pretty darn good return on my investment. And when I think about the overall percentage of Bitcoin I have, I'm okay with selling that amount. I also sold some Link. I sold some Algo. I just emptied out my DOT. I sold all of my DOT. I sold the ADA that I had on here too. I sold, let's see, 4.4 Ethereum. I sold XTZ, 1789 of those. I sold 5 more Ethereum. So let's see, I just kind of wanted to have about $100,000 of cash on hand. So that totaled approximately $83,000 in sales. So that's what I was kind of going for. I'm like, you know what, if I could just have 100K and pull that out, then I will feel a little bit more comfortable, because like I've said before, I basically was fully deployed. So I'm also going to consider, once the market opens, probably selling off my marijuana stocks. So, but I haven't decided 100% on that. And then over, when it comes to Gemini, what did I sell over here? I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take just start selling off very, very, very small amounts of Ethereum. So yesterday I sold like 0.05, and then this morning I sold another 0.149. But here is a lesson. Okay, so when it comes to Gemini Earn, which you can earn interest on your cryptocurrency, the rates are not that good. Like, they're not really a competitor when it comes to like Vauld or Celsius. Like, they're really, really, really low rates. So what happens is, once you have your funds locked up on Gemini Earn, it takes a while to get those. It could take like up to 5 days. But let me go ahead and see here, check my balances. So yeah, so I just transferred like, was it like 20 something Ethereum and like 4 Bitcoin. I transferred it from Gemini Earn. So this is my thought process. My thought process was, okay, I'm gonna sell off about $100,000 worth of crypto. And I'm gonna get everything else lined up so that if I wanna sell more, I can. And I wasn't like being picky and choosy on if it was an altcoin or if it was a Bitcoin. I just wanted to make sure that my cryptocurrency and my assets were right there available to sell immediately if I wanted them to. And in many instances, that was not the case. So for example, on Gemini, I needed to move it from Gemini Earn to the Gemini exchange. Kraken, I was able to sell off. So that's why I sold a lot of whatever I had on Kraken, because I had access to sell that immediately. And then when it came to Coinbase Pro, I was able to access that immediately. My Vault account is still deactivated because of the SIM swap. And then Celsius, oh gosh, you know what happened with Celsius? Okay, so Celsius has this mode called like HODL, okay? So you can see it basically in your account. It's like HODL mode and then on. I don't think I activated that. I think what happened was, when all of my accounts were under attack and I reached out to Celsius, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they put the HODL mode on my account. So basically, the situation was, because I went back and I saw an email like 6 days ago, which would have technically aligned with when I got SIM swapped, that my HODL mode was turned on, and then I needed like this activation code. So basically, like, I'm actually not able to withdraw anything on Celsius. Although they gave me access back to my account, I'm pretty sure it was them, turned the HODL mode on. So I can't even withdraw until I get this deactivation code. So I had to reach out to support. And now I'm waiting to hear back on this, this code to like deactivate HODL mode. So I noticed this HODL mode on recently, and I don't know why they did that. It's kind of an odd feature that I really wasn't aware of. And the fact that they kind of implemented on my account, I'm not really a fan of that. So, like I said, Vauld is currently like my account's on hold, and then Celsius, I had this HODL mode thing, so I couldn't access those funds and like move them to an exchange. And then with Nexo, everything just kind of needs to like stay where it's at, because obviously I have loans on there, and like most of what I have is being used as collateral. What else do I have? Like, I'm not taking anything off of my ledger. Like, what's on my ledger is staying there. What else can I consider here? Binance. Okay, so yeah, I also couldn't access my Binance account because I've been trying to verify my account, but I've submitted the documents so many times and they just decline every time. So I'm just like, you know what, these are things that I should have set up. So this is a lesson for you. Like, go make sure that everything is streamlined, everything is good. So if there is a situation where you need to sell immediately, you're ready to go. So now this is like making me reconsider a lot of things. So for example, I'm reconsidering Gemini Earn because first of all, their interest rates are not that good. And on top of it, if I have to wait like up to 5 days to have access to selling my crypto, that's not cool. Like, I think that needs to be changed. It should be an immediate situation, especially if you want to trade on like Gemini Active Trader immediately. So Like, I rather keep that on an exchange or on another account, earning more money to where I could sell it immediately. And then when it comes to BlockFi, I don't really have much on there. I don't think that they have given me back the excess collateral yet. And also, like, I don't really want to sell on BlockFi because their rates are just crap. So that's kind of like the situation with where I'm at. So I felt comfortable selling, you know, about 100K off. So back over here to my notes. This is just like an off the cuff video. I literally am like still sweating from, I just dropped off a rental car to get cleaned. That got rented last minute, and I jogged back home so I could get home faster to make this video. Let's see. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin price review. But, you know, before that, let's just talk about like what's going on in Canada, which is just insane. Canadian regulators demand crypto exchanges not to promote self-custodial wallets. What's happening in Canada is absolutely insane. If I was a resident of Canada, I'd be working so hard to literally take every single dime I have out of any traditional banking and go 100% into cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, stable coins, everything. Like, what they're doing is insane. It's literally Canada. It doesn't matter where you're at in the world. This is like the best Bitcoin advertisement you could possibly have, but obviously the price of Bitcoin is falling. So Bitcoin, this is actually making me realize just how early we are when it comes to Bitcoin adoption, because it's following traditional markets. Bitcoin is supposed to be thriving in this environment. People in Ukraine cannot withdraw more than like $300 and something in cash. I think it's per day from their bank account, okay? Like, you think you actually have access to your funds? They just, I guess you would say, like, instated martial law in Ukraine. What's happening there is just absolutely insane. And so if this doesn't motivate you to like literally pull back from banks and completely separate yourself, I don't know what the hell will. So yeah, what's happening in Canada is it's just crazy. And to see that lady get up there and talk about like all the regulations on banks, she literally looks like she's having like she's being electrocuted, like her mannerisms. I don't know if she's like trying to put on a show or if she literally is cringing at the news that she actually has to share because she knows how unethical it really is. So let's take a look at price of Bitcoin. Then we're going to check Twitter and kind of see what's happening. So Bitcoin is currently at $35,230 or so. So I said, I think it was when Bitcoin was between like 40 and 45,000 a few days ago, I told you guys the charts looked absolutely horrendous. And there's a reason why I said that. And I was getting hopeful that on the weekly chart, Bitcoin was, this moving average of green was going to start crossing over the red. But then we just took a really sharp path down this direction. And before this candle was in right here, you know, I was comparing like, we were in the middle of this 2 candle. I was kind of comparing it over here. I'm like, you know what, we kind of look similar to what's happening over here. Yeah, that's definitely not the case. So the weekly chart looking bad on Bitcoin. It's like right now it feels like catching a falling knife. This is the daily chart on Bitcoin, making a lower low. This wasn't good right here. We made a lower high and then we broke the low of this candle right here. So the low was 36,259. That would have been kind of like if I was paying close attention and like wanting to trade it like consistently, that's where I would have been watching at that point right there. You know, let's say maybe tomorrow, you know, we get like a green 9, and that might be a good buying opportunity. Let's go and take a look at the 12-hour chart here. 12-hour chart looking bad. I mean, in all these time frames, it's like catching a falling knife. And I apologize for the fan running on my computer. Like, I don't know why my computer is like having a panic attack. But let me go ahead and quit some programs here. It's all I can really quit. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the 1-hour chart here on Bitcoin. It's 9/11, so I don't know if I'm not gonna probably make it to market open on this particular video, but 1-hour chart looks ugly as well. So just super, super ugly across the board. You know what's interesting? Gold. Gold is like what's performing right now, which also makes me think that like, whoa, we are so in the early stages of Bitcoin if gold is outperforming Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and take a look here at majors. So this is SPY. This is like how things closed yesterday. I mean, just unwell, not good at all. So let's go ahead and head over. I mean, obviously things are looking bad across the board. You know what would be interesting? Okay, this is what we're gonna do. The last time Bitcoin got like scary was like, what was that, March of 2020 when COVID hit? So we're gonna go ahead and put side by side. So on the top here, we have 2 Bitcoin daily charts, and then on the top, I am going to put in, let's see, that was March of 2000. Crazy, that was like almost 2 years ago, or 2020. Okay, let's see here. Also, how about like inflation is just insane. Like I went to Costco the other day and I usually get a big bag of limes for like $3.99, and now the limes were $7.99 and they all looked like crap. They did not look good at all. And then I've also heard about like something happening with like avocados, and every time I go to Costco, there's like a lot of avocados and they're also like really hard, and like these avocados, when I went this last time, they were like $2 more. It went from like $7.99 to $9.99. There was less avocados and they were like all getting soft, and I'm like, this is weird. At Costco, they're always like in a different state. So I'm like, you know what? I think there is going to be probably an avocado shortage. Like I didn't really look into it, but I just heard that very small sliver of information. So I was like, oh yeah, maybe like this is what's potentially going to happen. So what I have on the top here, this right here is 2020. This is March 13th, where Bitcoin hit the bottom of 38.58. I'm using a Coinbase chart here. So, I mean, I want to see like from a percentage point, like how much it dropped over a period of time here. So let's go price range. So from March 7th through the 13th, so like in about a week or so, it dropped 50%. Whoa. Okay, and then let's just kind of like see from a percentage point. So like over the last week, Bitcoin's dropped about 25%. So, I mean, if it dropped like 50%, that would take us to like about $23,000. So people keep on calling, you know, Bitcoin back to 20K. Will it happen? I don't know. Like, you know, I'm just like, I'm a long-term holder. I believe in Bitcoin in the long term. I'm not going to be like selling off all of my Bitcoin at these levels. I wouldn't do that. But I'm just selling off a little bit to be like, okay, you know, like here's 100K, would love to buy the dip if it does come around. And if it doesn't, like, I'm okay with that. I've already come to terms, like if it doesn't drop anymore, I'm totally okay with that. Okay, you know, it's time for us to head over to Twitter and see what's happening. I love getting my news on Twitter. I'm gonna go ahead and delete what I just saw, or not show that. There was like, I'm not even gonna talk about what I just saw. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Oh my goodness. This is like crazy. This is like a really good tweet. Good morning. Stay safe, friends, and manage your risk carefully. I don't think anyone knows exactly how this is going to play out. That is true. So yeah, the markets in Russia are down a crazy amount. The MOEX Russia index sinks 32%, and it was down as much as 45% earlier. Despite ongoing aggression between the U.S. and Russia, the U.S. and its allies bought $700 million in Russian oil, gas, and commodities. Since the Keystone Pipeline was blocked, the U.S. now buys 800,000 barrels of Russian crude oil a day. The U.S. is partially funding Russia. Interesting. Ooh, oil is above $100 a barrel. Wheat is up 20% since the start of the year. Natural gas rose 30% in early trading. So like what's kind of up during this period of time? What's up right now is commodities. So we got like coffee, wheat, soybean, oil, stuff like that. That's what's up right now. Let's see here. What else interesting is happening? Oh, you know what's really cool? So El Salvador, since they announced like Bitcoin being legal tender and everything, their tourism is up 30%, which is cool. So there's been also like a lot of digital, what would you call it? Like cyber attacks. So like Russia attacking a lot of like banks in Ukraine, like their online sites. What's crazy is to think like, will Putin stop when he gets Ukraine, or will he keep going? I mean, if the momentum's there, I wouldn't be surprised if he just kept going. So this is interesting. CoinDesk reported Pantera Capital, which I am a little bit familiar with that company. So they're actually, they've invested in Vauld, and they have a presence here in Puerto Rico. It says 1.4 trillion of cryptocurrency capital gains were made last year, and some investors have been selling crypto recently to cover their tax bills. So that can make a little bit of sense here when it comes to the situation. So, I mean, it would be interesting to go back and look at like tax season to see how Bitcoin performs in that sense over the years. So technically like 10% of a pullback is considered a correction and 20% is considered a crash. So let's go ahead and look at the S&P 500, and like when you kind of like zoom out and look at things, it kind of puts things into perspective. Like I did this the other day and it really put things into perspective. And basically, let's go to this right here is the daily chart on SPY. And let's go ahead and look at our current levels here. Let's see. So when you look at the current prices, like these are basically around July of 2021. So it's basically lost value from that range, from like July of last year until now. That's like July was the last time that the S&P was, or SPY was like around those ranges. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. And like I said, if you wanna use my Vauld link to earn on your stable coins, I have awesome rates on stable coins and many other coins. They're super, super competitive. I have my Vauld link down below. I'll go ahead and put it in a pinned comment. So I wanna know, what are your plans? That's all I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.